panelists, Mr. Dyson Okumu and Madam Anne Mugunga, our founder, Franklin Institute, Madam Shalon Mugabe. You're all most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have brief remarks from our founder, just to give us a brief story about Franklin Institute so we can know how it started, what it's all about. After hearing from the founder, as I mentioned, we shall showcase a very brief video about PML so we can know the experience of the 2023 cohort. It will be a brief one. And after that, then we shall take the honor of receiving our guest of honor to address us. And I request the founder, after she has given her brief remarks, she will then invite our guest of honor so he can address us. When the guest of honor is through addressing us, we shall have a public management panel discussion that will be led, it will be moderated by my co-host, Charles Mwangusha, and our panelists will be invited to the front here, and then we shall go on. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let me take the honor of inviting the founder of Franklin Institute, Madam Sharon Mugabe. You're most welcome.
Excellent. Thank you, Joseph. You are a wonderful friend and a colleague, and I appreciate you. A very good afternoon. How are you today? You do not sound like the PML I have known since January. Ships 1, good afternoon. Ships 10, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ships 2. Good afternoon, Ships 9. Good afternoon, Ships 8. Good afternoon, Ships 7. Good afternoon, Ships 6. Good afternoon, Ships 4. Good afternoon, Ships 5. Good afternoon, Ships 3. Excellent, excellent. It is such a delight to see you, my friends, and I would like you to know that you are taking all my attention. Why? Because we are here because of you. So thank you, PML 2023 participants, for being here and arriving in time to receive our guests. My name is Shalon Mugabe. I have served in the public management sector for more than 18 years. And now I am cautioning some of you that are beginning to calculate to stop it there and just keep it at for about 18 years. Do you get it? I started serving at Makerere University as a teacher of English and literature and communication. And soon after then, I joined the Parliament of Uganda, where I am still serving now as Assistant Director, Research Services. I am also privileged to say that I am the honored mentor and facilitator of the Public Management and Leadership Program, whose participants are graduating today. I am a product of very many institutions, among which Makerere University that educated me. I am also an alumni, a Mandela Washington Fellow, and I am a double blessed girl. I am also a Yali alumnus. And I can assure you more is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, in Buganda, when you give birth to twins, you are called Nalongo. And today, I have the honor of hosting you at the birth of our twins. The first twin, Waswa, is that boy. The twin boy who is older is Waswa. So Waswa is cohort 2023 of the public management program graduating today. That is Waswa. Coming right after Waswa is Nakato. And Nakato is the Franklin Institute of Leadership and Public Management. So at the graduation of the public management leadership cohort, we are also launching the Franklin Institute of Leadership and Public Management. So I congratulate you for partaking in the process of birthing 2 babies on the same day. Congratulations, Nalongos and Salongos. When you give birth to twins, the effort is double. If you are going to buy 1 pack of diapers, you need more. You need 2 at the very least. If you are going to use 2 hands, you'll need another pair of hands. In fact, you also need to extend your heart and expand it further, as well as your mind. And therefore, in bringing these twins to life, I have had wonderful teams. I have a team of 10 ship's leaders that I would like to stand up. Quickly, you can stay where you are and hear it from me, team, that I appreciate you. Thank you. And now, because we had a teen child to bring forth, we had to, you can have your seats. We had to enroll the minds and hands of other wonderful people. The Franklin launch team. I know that you are outside and everywhere making sure that you host this. I would like you to know that I'm eternally indebted to you. Thank you. How do we come here? In 2017, I went back to Makerere University to have a conversation with university students where my life started. I was going to have a career conversation with them, and the result of that conversation was a request for mentorship. And so I started what I called the Learn to Lead program, meeting university students in the evening after their lectures in one of the lecture halls and talking about leadership. At that time, I was writing a book, which I later published. I was born to lead. And while I was progressing with that, I started sharing those values, essential leadership values for young people with the university students. Unfortunately, in 2020, we couldn't continue. COVID hit, and we were not yet familiar with what we are familiar with now. I would like to recognize our online audience that is participating in this, which we could not do in 2020. So we had a break in the Learn to Lead program. And in 2021, I had a conversation with a friend whom I'm about to graduate, to a sister, Amy Peterson. And I asked, how can I reach public managers in Uganda with leadership empowerment and development? Immediately, Amy said, and we had this center. In 2022, we enrolled our first cohort of the PML program. And in December last year, 60 participants graduated. When we put out the call for the 2023 cohort, we received 280 applications. Our resources have not yet enabled us to take more than 150. And so we only selected 150 of those who have gone through the program. As we graduated today, 130 have successfully gone through the program, monthly sessions and weekly online sessions. We have, unfortunately, lost 20. But we are thinking that for the 2024 cohort, whose call is out there, and we are receiving applications for that call, we hope that none of our babies will be lost. Because what we are working on is multiplication. We don't divide, we desist it from subtracting unless it is ultimately necessary. So today we congratulate 130 participants who have gone through the public management program for 2023. The 2023 cohort did something extra. Apart from meeting to be empowered, they mobilized their own resources. And together, we went to 12 high schools, reaching over 3,000 students with leadership empowerment programs. In each of those schools, we have started a leadership club. On 25th of November, next week, we are going to be hosting students and teachers of those schools that we reached out to so that we launch the iLead program in those schools. Our plan is that every year we will multiply the number of the schools that we reach. As our program grows here, public management leadership, also our program in the iLead program will grow in schools. We believe that if you want to grow, you do not grow alone. And so once we have equipped our public managers here, we want you to come on board and remember that to whom much is given, much is expected. We would like you not to reserve what we have given you. We want it to go out in the communities and especially in the schools and develop a generation of leaders that are competent and selfless. Why are we doing this? The Franklin Institute is the child of the public management and leadership program. At the end of our second year now, we needed a platform to put all this together. It couldn't remain on social media and on our WhatsApp groups. It needed a home. And so the home is the Franklin Institute to reach young public managers and high school students to nurture selfless and competent leaders in the public sector. And this is how and why we are passionate about it. When I joined the Parliament of Uganda, I was given a supervisor who taught me public management, parliamentary practice, and editing the proceedings of Parliament without leaving error. When I was beginning to take my first leadership role as a supervisor, my supervisor, who had then turned into a mentor, left the organization and even relocated from the country. And that left me on the deep end of a sea that I did not know how to swim. When I applied for YALI, I was looking for a place to grow. Sometimes I meandered in dark tunnels alone. When I went to Syracuse University as a Mandela Washington Fellow. I was pursuing an opportunity to grow in leadership and public management. It was the same drive behind my certification as a Maxwell leadership coach and trainer. Franklin opens its doors for the many Shalons whose supervisor has left physically or even psychologically. Franklin is a place where the young public managers that hope to grow and actually lead those organizations, but don't see how to, can come and we have these conversations. We aspire to nurture selfless and competent leaders in the public sector. And at Franklin, there's a place for each of you. For you, my PML participants, you are welcome to be Franklin ambassadors. For both you and our guests, you are welcome as Franklin facilitators. You are welcome, all of you, as Franklin mentors. And you are welcome as Franklin partners in every form. There is room for each one of us. Our essence is not to just add, but to multiply. The bigger the vision, the more numbers you need. And I am calling upon all of you to come and join in the vision and multiply the numbers in Yumbe, in Kapelbyong, in Mitoma, in Kanungu, in Kapchorwa, in Karamoja, in Zombo, in Masaka, in Kawempe, in Nansana. I am calling upon each one of you to pull your weight. Come, we multiply the effort to nurture selfless and competent leaders in our public sector. I thank you.
Wow, another round of applause for our co-founder. Thank you so much, Shalon. I was so engrossed in your speech that I forgot I was the MC. So when you're walking away, I remembered I have to take the microphone again. But thank you so much. Friends, that's the story of Franklin. And I'm sure all of you are deeply touched. And I'm sure everyone wants to participate in whatever way, whether as partners, whether as mentors, whether as in whatever way. I'm sure every one of us now feels they have to, pull in their weight so that Franklin can excel in Uganda and abroad. Thank you, Shalon. That's quite a touching story, and we are all proud to be a part of this today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor to invite us to watch a very brief showcase video about the participants of the PML video, the cohort of 2023. It's going to be very brief. We're going to watch it here together just to give us a feel. Let her confirm if the video is ready, because it's a part of a key program, just to fill us in again. Having heard that story, I'm sure you're all interested to know exactly how this all has been going. And if we are to pull in our weight and support this vision, then we must understand exactly what Franklin is about and how we can individually support this vision. so that we can nurture competent leaders in our country, in Kapere Byong and Kawempe and Nansana, as our co-founder has put it. Thank you so much, Shalon. Are they ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, because we're short of time, as they're fixing the video, let us hear some remarks from one of please, let's have the lights back while they're fixing the video. Thank you. At this moment, please permit me to invite Madame Amy Pedersen so she can address us. Most welcome, Madame.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today and to congratulate Shalon and the whole Public Managers leadership team. I have been so impressed what Shalon has been doing as an alumni of our programs, but also as a fellow civil servant. And it is people like Shalon that we look up to. I work at the U.S. Embassy's Public Affairs section, and I'd like to welcome you to our American Center. This is one of our public programming places, and we're so glad to see you all here today. We're glad to have hosted this Public Managers Workshop for the past 2 years almost, Shalon, which is incredible. And we look forward to continuing doing that because that's what this space is for. It's for our alumni and leaders across Uganda to come together, to connect, to learn from each other, and build your skills in a way that you can then give back to your communities. But from the U.S. Embassy, we have a very special guest today. And it is my honor to introduce our U.S. Ambassador to Uganda, Ambassador William Pop, to give us a few words.
Thank you, Amy. I'm glad that there was someone speaking between me and Shalon. After that very impressive presentation and really touching and inspirational, it's intimidating to come up here and really try to connect with all of you. But above all, I want to just start by congratulating each and every one of you for the accomplishment of completing this program, but also for your dedication to being a public servant and to continuing to advance your own professional development in an effort to continue to improve and strengthen your ability to be a public servant. Amy and I are both public servants in the U.S. government. We share that same drive and commitment. I've been working for the United States State Department for over 24 years. And every day, what drives me is how I can be better, how I can serve more. And that's really, I think, at the core of what service means. When you are a servant, you are seeking to serve the public, serve your country, serve your community in a way that contributes something hopefully positive to those in your community, in your country, in this case that you're representing. So it's really a privilege to be here. I want to thank Shalon in particular for inviting me to be able to participate in this event. As Amy noted, we've been proud to have the opportunity here through our American Center to support this program for over 2 years. I recently arrived in Uganda only a few months ago, so I've been excited. I'm just going to talk. Oh, here we go. To be able to see the program reach this culmination of graduation and to see the already seeds being planted for the next cohort, which I know will also bring excellent young leaders into this training program. I want to specifically recognize Shalon for all she's done to create this space for thoughtful leaders among peers and professionals that are from across Uganda and that are committed to public service. Your spirit truly embodies the leadership and the vision that was set forth by President Barack Obama when he established the Young African Leaders Initiative in 2010. Leaders giving back to their communities, leaders that want to make a better future for their communities and for their fellow public servants in this case. And so that's why we're here today. And I just want to say thank you and congratulations for everything you've accomplished. As a public servant myself, I am really truly aware of that the term servant, public servant in particular, does not always engender the most positive sentiment, whether it's in the United States, in Uganda, wherever. Sometimes it's associated with, government bureaucracy or policy changes or something that's confusing or difficult to deal with. But in reality, in so many ways and among so many people, it represents brave men and women who are putting themselves forward to serve their community and serve their country. And it can be from areas of education to healthcare to development of jobs, creation, agriculture. Every sector you can imagine can involve public servants and frankly is advanced by public servants. And through that, our societies are stronger, they're safer, they're more prosperous, and we all benefit from that. However, choosing a career in public service is not an easy thing to do. It's something that takes heart and a lot of dedication. It's something that you really have to be committed to, and it can be motivated by different desires in one's life. But ultimately, in my personal case, I joined, and I know many of my colleagues joined the U.S. government because we wanted to support not only our community, but our country, and also make a more positive difference in the world. Specifically, as a diplomat, our job is to be serving outside of our country. Of the last 24 years of my profession, I've barely lived in the United States. I've spent 19 of those years overseas. So I'm serving a country and a community that I almost rarely even get to go home and see, but I do it because I'm and as many of my colleagues are, very committed to not only contributing to my country, but to the places that I serve in. So I am very honored to be here today in that spirit with you. And equally, I want to commend you all for devoting your time and your effort in not only being committed to your jobs, but also being committed to your own professional development, recognizing, as Shalon mentioned, that need to gather more, to get more knowledge, to be prepared for that moment when leadership is presented to you so that you can do the best you possibly can. And that's really a credit to your dedication and to your commitment. Of course, there is obviously motivation. Many people join this work as a public servant for many reasons. It can be from trying to influence policy to implementing programs, to providing life-saving support during health crises, to educating the next generation of one's community and country, to responding to natural disasters or national emergencies, or many other needs that can really only truly be met by the public sector. For many of my colleagues here in the U.S. government, Amy's one of them. One of their motivations is to also connect the United States with leaders around the world, young leaders, people who are advancing and have the potential to take the future of their countries forward. And we do that in many ways, but particularly through our educational and exchange programs, and helping, in this case, those budding leaders to even be more successful in what they're doing and to have a greater network of contacts, not only with the United States, but with others that are working in those same spaces around the world. And so I know you've heard about some of these programs. We've mentioned YALI, we've mentioned Mandela Fellows, Mandela Washington Fellows. We've got the Fulbright program. We've got many of those programs. And Shalon is a fantastic example as an alumnus of that program. Do we have other alumni here? Anybody else? Yay! What program? Excellent. Hubert Humphrey is another fantastic program. So we want to make sure you all, as current and future leaders, can connect to those programs. Now, one thing I do want to note, what we are looking for, and we are not looking to train people to be leaders. We're looking for people who already are leaders, and that's you all. You all have already demonstrated your leadership capability. You've demonstrated your commitment to service, and so we're hoping that all of you, are in one way or another, can connect with one of or more of those exchange programs in the future. And we hope that you can point more people to those activities as well. Now, we know public service is not easy. So building that capacity, connecting with people who have had experiences in public service to continue to strengthen your toolkit and your skills is fundamental. And so we know that this is one big step for all of you, and we're really excited about that. But we hope that you're going to continue on that journey. We know that it's a lot of work that you've put into this effort over the last year. It's a lot of work what you're doing on a daily basis. And we also share that experience at the embassy. We work many long hours, for example. It's time away from friends. It's time away from family. It is a sacrifice, but I think as public servants, we often, get our energy from engaging in the service and the work that we're doing. And I hope that by not only what you've taken away from the trainings and the sessions, but also from each other, you're coming out of this program even more motivated and even more exciting. For the United States, we are working daily through our efforts to build a brighter future with Uganda. We invest nearly $1 billion here in Uganda on an annual basis in education, in health, in job creation, in natural disaster and emergency response, and all the areas that you all are working on. And we've been doing that for over 6 decades because our partnership is so deep with the Ugandan people. And our hope is that together we can continue to build a more vibrant, healthy, prosperous future for every Ugandan man, woman, and child, and really help them achieve their full potential, because it's good for Uganda, it's good for Africa, it's good for the United States, it's good for the world. Of course, as we do this, as we invest this effort, as we invest this time and these resources, we obviously have a responsibility to be transparent stewards of those resources. And I know you share that responsibility in the activities and the programs that you do as well. And we are always working ultimately for our boss. Our boss is the American people. Your boss is the Ugandan people. And so we are always, I think, well served to keep that in our mind of who do we work for as public servants. And we work for the people of our community and of our country. At our embassy and in Washington, we continue to work to make sure that the resources we have are implemented correctly, they're implemented transparently, they're implemented with impact. And that takes, again, dedicated public servants, people with expertise, people who have management skills have strategic vision skills, have analytical capabilities. So there's a lot that goes into that. And I hope through this program, you're gaining some of those skills and you're enhancing your abilities to implement the policies and the programs and the activities for which you're responsible for. I do want to just, before I conclude, emphasize how proud we are to be associated with these training programs and these exchange activities, because at the end of the day, it's investing in human capacity and capability. You can build roads, or you can build infrastructure systems, or you can install computers or what have you, but it takes people to truly make good policy, make good programs, and make good results. And for us, that is definitely what we are seeking, working in partnership with the Ugandan people, is for a country that is more prosperous, healthier, with more access to education, with more access to opportunity, so that democracy, governance, rule of law, inclusion of all, truly is for everyone. And so I hope that, again, through the skills and the exchange and the interaction that you're having through this program, that you're moving on to your responsibilities with even greater motivation, greater inspiration, greater capacity to succeed for the Ugandan people. Thank you, and congratulations to you all.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. Another round of applause for him. We do appreciate so much your presence and that wonderful speech you've given us. Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting better and better. I'm sure you've been hearing about ships, people seated in ships, and you're wondering, you don't see any ship around. So SHIPS is about scaling heights in public service. So that's an acronym, scaling heights in public service. And so you find people seated in their ships, and that's how they're going to be graduated. So thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador, for enlightening us more about public service and what we can all do for our bosses. His boss is American people. Our boss are the Ugandan people. That really was very, very touching for me. So ladies and gentlemen, I think now the video is ready. I would really want to see what exactly the experience was for the 2023 cohort. So kindly, if you're ready, let's have that played. It's a very brief one, so please bear with us. And after the video, we shall go into the panel discussion. My co-host, Mr. Charles Mwangisha, is already here. Please, Charles, come and say hello. He's going to be moderating the panel discussion. Please say hello to the people.
Hello, good afternoon. Did I forget I was told to say hello? And I said so many things. Excited to be with you, and looking forward to the rest of the program and the graduation of the ships that we have here. Let's have the video playing, and then we'll continue the program. Thank you.
Shalon, and we are diverting these skills to young people.
Why I'm inspired to have persistently stayed with PML2, the core values of John C. Maxwell and the lead facilitator, Shalon Mugabe, where one, consistency comes from doing things with an intention. Intentional living, like if you love what you do and your intention about it, you will stay, even when someone has not woken you up to do it.
What I've gained in the program mostly is around having a family that I can say that I have a team that I can call a family in a very short period of time. And I've also gained the level of comparing myself as per where I was as a leader up to now, where I have reached in the context of applying the values that I have learned through the program. And I've been able also to network and create a strong team, fellow members, through the membership that I have found here, and great leaders that we have done a lot of things together so far.
When I joined PML, I learned about intentional living, consistency, and commitment. There was a time when our facilitator's child was sick, but she told us, but my child is sick, but I will be there. Actually, let us shift it to 10. And by 10, she was there. So, such a commitment. And what I learned, no matter what you are going through, when you have something that you have to do it no matter what.
Through this program, I am seeing myself moving forward. I have got that zeal of seeing self moving forward. Whether I have resources, I don't have, but I'm seeing myself moving forward. I've increased my network with members of Ships 4. My friends are here. We always interact. I love them.
I have learned to be patient with my mentees, because there are times you could send communication, people don't respond in time, and you feel discouraged, or at times you feel irritated. So I've learned to be patient with them. I've learned again to be consistent, and I have as well learned to live an intentional life.
This program has gotten me so inspired, especially by listening to various guest speakers that have been here for us in different fields. I tell you, I've been so encouraged, and my confidence and intentionality in making a change in our communities.
This program has really taught me, and it has opened my eyes. Since February up to date, I've learned a lot. There's a time whereby our mentor here told us that whatever comes in your mind, put it on paper. And I've always done that. It has really helped me a lot. I don't forget it.
I always feel there's no end to learning, and that's why I joined this, because it's been quite insightful. I've been able to deal with how to react with people. I've realized there's a lot of things that getting from this program, how you relate, how you react, how you control yourself, and as someone said, how you sharpen your skills in terms of professionalism and leadership. Sometimes you're too comfortable in your environment that you do not, and especially when you interact with other people in your field or in different expertise, you get to learn, because everybody, it's very different. It's been a learning process. I'm so humbled, especially with Shalon. She took her time to just sit with us in the nights. I remember going through the classes. I never missed any of them. So
actually, the program impacted me. The big lesson I learned is valuing every person. I think this was lesson 3 of the program. And I can quote the author telling us that the entire population of the world, with one minor exception, is depending on others. The others, I think, is you. And that minor exception is myself.
Where I work, we were trying to come up with a circle for our members, and it was shelved for a long time, but after get involved in these sessions, we were able to launch it, and right now it is ongoing.
It has helped build the way I live intentionally, the way I work in my space, interacting with so many other leaders for the NGOs that I work with in all these other countries, over 200 NGOs. So my confidence has been built through this program.
Joining this program has helped me to deal with them in a very nice way, in a way that we can hear from each other. They wrong you, you learn how to forgive. I've learned how to forgive from this program, because as a leader, people will always wrong you, and how will you manage that?
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're sorry we can't play all of it because of time, but at least that gives us a feel. Let's applaud that. Thank you, Shalon. Thank you, Shalon, and thank you, team. At least we have now a feel of what it was for you as the 2023 cohort. And because we're running behind time, I'd like to now take this opportunity to invite my co-moderator, Mr. Charles Mwangusha, who will take us through the public management panel discussion. So he's going to come over here and invite the panelists, and then we shall follow through together. Welcome, Charles. Let's make him welcome.
Thank you, Joseph. My job is simple. Invite some people to occupy these seats here, ask a few questions, have you ask a few other questions or make comments, and we'll be done in a few minutes. Thank you. Let me invite to join us on the panel, Ms. Agnes Igoye. Agnes is a regional migration expert. She serves 8 member states at the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. I'm sure you know about it, but actually many people, Agnes used to sit somewhere on Ginger Road, behind Ginger Road somewhere? Yeah, Ginger Road, and then the other side at Uganda's Ministry of Internal Affairs. But now she's serving an expanded community of 8 countries, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Djibouti, Somalia, and Eritrea. Join me to welcome Agnes Igoye. The people we're bringing up front here are people with storied careers in public service and management. Let me invite Anne Mugunga. Anne Mugunga is a consultant with Feed the Future, a USAID-funded activity. She's the principal and founder, I hope I pronounced this correctly, NEZA International School. NETSA International School. She is a PhD in communication, Hong Kong Baptist University, and is a fellow of the Hong Kong Postgraduate Fellowship Scheme. And she holds an MA in International Communications, University of Leeds, a BA in Mass Communication from Makerere University, and an advanced diploma in HR Management, among many others. I'm not going to read, among many others should satisfy us for now, because I don't want to read too many things at this particular moment. The next person I need to invite, Dyson B. Okomo. For many young people here, part of this cohort, I need to read a little bit more about Dyson. Do you pronounce it Dyson? Dyson Okomo. Huh? We'll be in trouble there. We'll be in trouble there. Dyson began his career in 1982 with the defunct Uganda Electricity Board. Do you remember that? Anybody remembers that? Where he worked in various capacities as a statistician, senior planner, manager corporate planning and strategy, acting general manager corporate services. He also had a stint as a United Nations volunteer in Banjul, the Gambia, serving as a statistician in the Bureau of Statistics, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of the Republic of the Gambia from 1988 to 1994. Dyson Okumu, that's better, holds a Master of Science in Statistics from the London School of Economics and Political Science, University of London. His first degree is a Bachelor of Statistics of Makerere, University of Kampala, Uganda. Do I also need to bring the ambassador back here? Answer a few questions. Do I need to reintroduce the ambassador? I don't need to. Thank you very much. I have a few questions for the ladies and gentlemen here with us. And basically, I want to hear from, do I have a second microphone? Kindly, can I have 2 microphones? Joseph, can you help me? I need a couple of microphones for the people here. We are talking public service. We're talking public management. That's at the center of what you guys have been going through over the last, for the 2023 cohort. Your colleagues in the 2022 cohort possibly went through the same. And today we have a graduation. And we need to understand the subject and the question of public service. Huh? How's fun? Okay, we keep making changes as and when. We'll continue to do that. Do I have my microphones? Who has the microphone? I need a couple of microphones. Give the ambassador the microphone. Let's start with him. I'll start with the very first question to your ambassador. I really want to tap into your experience in public service. In this country, and many places, the idea of public service before you graduate to public management, because you start with service and then you go to management of that very public. From your experience, you did talk about a little bit of that in your speech. What exactly is it? Could you break it down for us? The idea of public service. You said, these are my boss. If there's plural for that, these people are my boss. What does that mean?
No, I think, thank you. First of all, I think it's a great question because there is a distinction between public service and public management. And I think the word service is at the very core of it. So when we decide to become public servants in whatever field we're going to ultimately work in, it's really important in terms of being successful and I think really fulfilling the potential of the position to focus on service, and which means you're putting part of yourself towards a greater good, whether that's your community, whether it's your country, whether it's a particular initiative or effort or a goal. And that's where it starts. That's at the kind of the core DNA that I think I've always found fundamental, not only as a motivator for myself, but what I've seen in other truly successful and impactful public servants. Public management is what you're learning now, or what you're continuing to hone your skills on. We will manage money, we will manage programs, we may manage initiatives or goals, and we may manage people or lead people. And those are components of public service, but at its fundamental core is that commitment to putting yourself below a larger goal and serving a greater effort, including the people that you work with and the people that you work for.
Could you share a little bit about your own journey? Because now you represent the government of the United States in this country. You've done that before. But many young people here at the beginning of their careers, early stages of career, one would imagine, what would it take to, where do you start from? Can I move from where I am and end up as an ambassador representing a country as powerful as the US?
I hope so for all of you. I mean, in my country, our system is very open, but it requires a lot of work and effort. And it's not just kind of the traditional, what you might consider work. Of course, you have to be skilled, but it's also learning what, how to work with other people, work with other parts of the public sector, not just within government, but with other stakeholders, NGOs, foundations, universities, other stakeholders that are working towards hopefully a common good. In my own personal case, I knew that I wanted to serve in government. I knew I wanted to serve in the diplomatic service when I began, but I really didn't know much else about diplomacy. I grew up in a very small, isolated part of the United States, a part of the country probably most Americans don't even think about or know. And no one in my family had ever traveled. No one had ever been out of the United States. No one spoke a foreign language. But I was committed to, at first, wanting to serve and what that would mean in terms of self-sacrifice and commitment. Second of all, what I needed to learn, which was a lot. I needed to learn about what it meant to be a diplomat, what skills I needed, but I also needed to learn how to connect that diplomacy with a broader public good, which was obviously supporting the United States prosperity and security and national interest, but also connecting my country with other countries on the world. So I began in a very academic way, learning the skills that I thought I was going to need. But what I mainly learned from over the course of these years of my personal journey is from others. It's much of what we do in public service is a learning on the job from other colleagues, from other leaders. Shalon mentioned the mentor that she had at the beginning. This is a unique calling in our careers, and you can learn much in school. You can learn much from the specific areas and subject matter that you need to be capable in your positions. But a lot of what you learn about public management is by learning what your leaders do, what your mentors do, what your supervisors do. And I'll be honest, I've learned a lot about what not to do from people that I've worked with too. So that's also part of the learning process. And so, the true value of wisdom is not always making the mistake yourself, but learning from others that you see in those experiences and taking away from it. And the last thing I would say, what I've always seen, I can't pay back all the other people that I've learned from or all the other experiences I've had. What I can do is try to pay it forward to others. So I hope that as you all continue to advance in each field that you're working in, that you will pay back what you've learned from Shalon, what you've learned from others, by raising up the next generation of public servants and leaders.
Dr. Mugunga, let me come to you briefly there. Speak to young people. Your own very vast experience, you've done it all, basically, from your mass communication class at Makerere, to your PhD, to running your own school, to doing what you do at UCU and other places and FEED that you have worked with. If you're speaking to a young person, and I say this with a lot of caution because we have mature people here at the beginning of your, some of them at the beginning of their careers, others have already done so many things. What, in your own view, what should they pick out as the most core lessons? The ambassador says something that I find critical. He had a goal, he had an intention, and he said, I will keep focus. But sometimes you find yourself looking this way, looking the other way, and trying to find yourself. Trying to find your pathway. What is the best path that people should use to achieve satisfaction in public service and growth and development for themselves?
Thank you very much. I'm thinking of a number of things right now, but I'll probably just point out two. The first, I would say, is do not be afraid to stand for what is right. If you decide to do something, if you're serving in whatever position you are in public service and possibly private service, because I'm sure that there are a few of us that are in the private service, do not be afraid to do what is right and stick to that. There are many challenges that you find in the workplaces. There are many options. There are many alternatives. There are many shortcuts. But I'm sure that at the end of the day, we all know what is right to be done in any situation. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, the right thing. You know it, but there are so many things that are standing in your way. There's that supervisor that you're probably afraid of. There's a kickback that has been probably asked of you. There's a promotion that you're looking to, but you're afraid if you don't do the wrong thing, you'll not get that promotion. So briefly, I would say do not be afraid to do what is right. Do what is right and stick to it. It's hard, it's not easy, but you get further, you get farthest, you achieve your goals faster, easier when you do the right thing, even with opposition. Don't expect it to be easy, but you will definitely, that's one thing I can say. The second thing that I can say is be on the positive side of change. I've grown from a newsroom reporter. I was a journalist. So Charles is my colleague in that field. I was a journalist, I was a lecturer, I was a corporate communications person, I was an editor at the Parliament of Uganda. And there's always change. There's always change in your workplace. There's always change in your life. There is always change in your service. Sometimes this change is good, but other times it's bad. You've seen recently that institutions are being phased out in the government of Uganda. That is change. People are going to lose jobs. People are going to be reassigned, but be on the good side of change. Choose to be on the good side of change. What do I mean? You might have to hold somebody's hand, mentor people as you go along. You might have to make tough decisions. You might be the one firing somebody. You might be the one stopping somebody from taking their leave earlier than they should. You might be the one holding back a certain payment. But in spite of all the changes that are going on around you, I encourage us to be on the positive and the good side of change. I'm sure even as you've gone through this training, it's changed for you. You have changed, you have grown. So yes, those are, I think, let me
Is
stop
there
there.
opportunity in change?
There is always opportunity in change.
And how do we see that? How does someone see this opportunity? You used a very fundamental example. Government is scrapping some entities, merging some, people are going to lose jobs. A few years ago, we had issues with the basket fund of donors, DGF, for people in civil society, closing, and a lot of them finding themselves without work to do. But some people have found opportunity in that, and they've been able to build from there. How does someone tap that opportunity? How does somebody read that opportunity?
Thank you. I think my guess is everyone in this room is ready to tap into any change that might come at them the minute they walk out of that door. Am I wrong? You have positioned yourselves. So you position yourself and you contextualize the opportunities. I don't want to be dismissive about the difficulties that change can bring, because in reality, someone might be without a job for months or years. You might have a family to feed. So I'm not dismissive of the difficulties that come with change. But what am I saying? Be placed, be positioned to take the next opportunity. Maybe when this institution phases out, it's time for you to start your own company. Maybe.
Thank you. Dyson, let me come to you. What are the key challenges and opportunities facing public management in the 21st century?
Thank you very much. The first challenge is that the community in which we live today is a community which is different from the one of the past. Sort of like everybody is running too fast to get everything at the same time. And that makes the life of a civil servant very difficult. I'm a planner through and through. Planning normally needs time. But when you are still planning, people already jumped at the wall. So what do you do? Now, I say, as a planner and as a civil servant, there are a few attributes you should have. Number one, know why and who you are serving. And this I summarize in what we call the 4 Ps of success in civil service. The first P is people. You are there to serve people, what the ambassador calls your boss. Your boss is the people. Number 2 is you should know your purpose. In this position, I put, what am I supposed to do to serve people? In fact, if you are talking about these institutions which are being, they call what? Rationalized? It's because it looks like they lost their purpose and they were stepping on other people's purposes in serving people. So make sure as an individual, you know your purpose in serving people. Number 3, the third P is what processes are there to enable me achieve my purpose of serving people. So the processes are the rules, they are the strategic plans, the manuals which you are given in your workplace, the plan of the day you are going to office to do to achieve your purpose of serving people. And the 4th P is what we call performance. You must always be a performer. A performer judged by who? Judged by your boss. Who are your stakeholders? Now, in many workplaces, people only measure performance, and people concentrate on performing. Performance is a measure of where you came from to where you are. As an individual civil servant, you should also measure your potential. I have come so far from that place to here. I still need to go. Otherwise, the world will stop exactly where you are. What Anne said, I want to add on a little bit also. Suppose you lose your job today. You must have positive attitude at all times as a civil servant. However difficult the situation may appear to be, if you have a positive attitude, there's always going to be a way out. Believe in the saying that when one door is closed, 7 windows open. It is upon you to decide which window to fly out of. Thank you for now.
Thank you very much. Agnes, let me come to you. Pardon? A second question. I'll come back to you. Don't worry. I'm still looking at the 7 windows and determining which one to fly out of, and to try and ensure that when I fly out of the window, I'm actually going to fly, not to fall down. Agnes, let me come to you. What are the global trends in management? I mean, you're serving an international body of 8 countries. The last time we met, you were at the ministry here. Now you have scaled the heights. You found a window to fly higher. Windows, yes. You found windows to scale the heights. At an international level, what are the global trends in public service that you can share with the young people here? Public management, and how can young leaders tap into these collaborations and stuff like that?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And speaking of global, I'm not the only one in the global arena. We are all. I hope you know that when you're seated here, you're actually in the global world. So you don't think Uganda, because everything that is happening to you or happening elsewhere comes back to you.
I've seen some people tweeting about this event, so. when you're talking about the global,
Yeah,
people are tweeting and
that-
we've been
yeah,
followed everywhere.
it's going global, and I've seen that even in my service. And I want first of all to thank the American embassy, because I'm a Hubert Humphrey Fellow. Went to University of Minnesota 2011, and then returned 2017 to Harvard Kennedy School, where my class was all like global people. I see my classmates serving with President Biden, and I was happy just last week. Luke, who is the economic advisor at the White House, was speaking to my mentees via Zoom in Uganda, because I have a mentorship program. So I'm a big fan of mentorship. I also work with President Clinton at the Clinton Global Initiative University. And just the other day, I was with Chelsea Clinton passing out our class of 2023. So we are all in the global world. Now, what does it mean to be global? Being global means you just have to have that cultural awareness. Begin with that. Forget about, what you know just around you, but you have to be culturally aware. Because, the thoughts you have, or maybe the religion you are born in is not the same religion somebody else is born in. The way you are raised up is different from the way somebody is raised up. And so when I walked in here, one of the things I've always thought about is listening and thinking and acting before acting. And I saw my book, the other book right there, Listen, Think, and Act. I wrote it with two other Americans, and I'm happy that you have a collection in here in community development.
We have a policy, we have a policy on events I moderate. That when we decide to give an applause, a hand clap, it becomes a proper applause, not scattered showers and thunderstorms. So can we do that again, please? That sounds more like it. You don't find many people who just point at a bookshelf and say, "There's my book there."
Thank you. I'm really honored.
Thank you.
And whichever space you go into, the first thing you're going to do is to listen, whether it's your workplace, whether it's your neighborhood, whether it's a community you're going to, whether you've gone abroad, listen, or people you're serving, because you have no clue what they want. It's them to guide you and tell you what they want. So very, very, very important. I know that some of us like talking too much, but listening is actually a good skill. You can learn so much through just listening, and looking at global trends, because we are all mixed. You'll not find people who look just like you, elsewhere. And so, oh wow, thank you. Yeah, I wish I had copies for everybody. Yeah, so very important. And so when you have, that awareness, then you can fit in. And always, whichever space you go in, always look at, what do I contribute to that space? That is public service. It's not what you get out of. That comes later, but like, what do you contribute? That's why when even, the earthquake comes on, changing people from this job, they look at, who has been contributing more to this space, more to this government, more to this family, more to me. Even when you're looking for a spouse, like, okay, who is that, who is contributing? Or even a child will always, love the person who is contributing to the space. So what is your contribution? And there's a lot of value and excitement when you reach out to people and change people's lives. I see that in mentoring. It's not in the houses. You'll get a house, then you want another room. You get a car, then you need another color. But with the people, it multiplies. When you touch a life, or when you mentor a life, or when you reach out to somebody and support, it just, multiplies and makes all of us a good world for us to be. Thank
The
you.
last question I'm going to put to the panel is to be answered by every panelist, starting with Dyson. How can public managers and leaders foster a culture of continuous learning, professional and leadership development? We need to start tapping from you from 1982.
Yes.
It's 2023.
No, actually 1964.
Oh.
Yeah, when I started primary one.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, we are not going to kindergarten anyway. So Aristotle says, education of the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. So this learning we are talking about, it is continuous. But there are again 4 aspects. Once you become a civil servant or a servant, even if it is in the private sector, to continue getting more knowledge is very important. So build your knowledge set. Knowledge set. Seek more information about things which are changing. Contemporary issues which is going on, you should be knowledgeable. Number 2, you need to improve your skills set. Knowledge is information, but how do you apply? The application of the knowledge you have got is very important. And once you're applying it, apply it excellently. And excellence is never achieved by chance. There are 3 aspects of achieving excellence. Number 1, to be excellent, you must have high intention. Number 2, with that intention, you must put in sincere effort. And after the effort, you must execute it intelligently. So intentionally, put in sincere effort and execute intelligently. The third aspect of learning, which you should always continue, apart from knowledge and skills, is what we call mindset. The mindset should always be changing. Your attitude towards your work, towards people, towards whoever you are serving, towards the processes you have been given. Always try to have positive attitude for you to progress. And finally, this continuous learning should change your behavior. So behavioral set must be developed continuously. Mindset must be developed continuously. Skill set and knowledge set.
Thank you. Ambassador.
Wow, these are great responses, which are hard to follow. But I think I'm going to take some lessons here in terms of just, again, listening and really intentionally absorbing it throughout one's career and service is fundamental. I think we all have maybe a tendency to reach, okay, we've gotten that promotion we want, or we've done really well on a particular effort that we were working on. We really know what we're doing. And I think in today's world, with things changing so rapidly, so much information washing over us at all times, the expansion of our role in a much larger global world, we can never rest on our laurels. And so I think above all, we should have that humility that is part of public service, part of effective public management, to recognize that there's always more to learn. The second thing I would say is, and I think to the spirit of a part of the question, is in terms of what we can do as public servants, individuals working in this space, and especially as we move forward into positions of responsibility, always supporting the next person. Always, not only the people that you lead or that you might be working with, but even the person that may someday take your job from you, you want that person to succeed. Truly, you do, because that actually strengthens your legacy as a public servant. We're all temporary in these responsibilities. We're all passing through, and while we have our time to serve, we of course want to have maximum impact, but we need to recognize, again, with that humility, that there'll be a day when we're not in that role, and the folks that come after us, we want them to be as successful as possible. It doesn't take anything away from us. It actually enhances not only our accomplishment and our legacy, but what we want to achieve as public servants.
Thank you very much. And as we go to the ladies, I want to ask the audience, I believe you have a lot of questions. I have very little time for those questions, but we'll try to ask and answer as many as possible. So my suggestion is write down your question on the person you want to ask. Joseph will help me pick up those questions, then we'll come back to you so that you can be able to ask your own question.
Before I forget, I just want to throw this out there, that it's not about you. It's not about me, but about that thing you care about. Okay. For example, for me, very early on, it was about countering human trafficking, running after human traffickers. That was the issue. So even if you are my difficult boss, it's not about it's I will not even if you say bad things about, but I want you to succeed, to advance that cause. So you get away from the pettiness. So you just keep knowing that's not about me, such that even you know, as public servants, you also know that, you know, sometimes the public is angry. So when somebody, you know, lashes out to you, maybe on social media or something, it's not you. They're just not happy because of what is happening, but don't take it personal. So always it's that thing. And you know, speaking about, you know, continuous learning and knowledge, I think it's even written for those who follow the Bible, without knowledge, people do what? Perish, yes. But also to be careful on what you're consuming. Verify those facts. There are people who forward and consume, and also knowing that even when you watch TV, there's propaganda. It depends on, so verify information, get in touch, or if you have access to people on the ground. That's why you don't have to, you know, say the people in Mbale like this. I mean, have you heard from them? Have you been there? Who is on ground? And to know, even if it is a media house, who does it belong to? Because sometimes they are also hijacked in that way. So always verify, always be the one also to send out good information, because otherwise you poison the minds of everybody else and you cause a lot of trouble in the world just because of maybe that post or that thing you've said to somebody. And be sensitive to other people. If you don't know somebody, don't have an opinion about them when you don't know them as a person, just because of how they've posted them. Look at how some people have misunderstood maybe your post and have responded. So be that person who is always a champion and looking out for others whom other people are picking on. So I'll end there.
Thank you very much. Can I have Dr.
Mr. Moderator, this is a setup. You can't, I'll be like the ambassador. You can't let me answer the question last. I feel attacked.
We are colleagues. We have a history. We ask people questions.
Yes.
So when we ask questions, it becomes it's okay.
Yeah. What I can think of is just a challenge to all of us to raise the scepter. S-E-P.
S-C-E-P-T-E-R.
Scepter. S-E-P-T-R-E. You know the story of the king who would not be approached unless if he raised his golden scepter? I challenge all of us where we are serving to please raise your golden scepters. Be approachable. Don't be that person who people are tiptoeing around and saying, I wonder which mood Anne woke up this morning. Or when she wears blue. Or, you know, when it rains, I cannot dare approach so-and-so. Be the person that you're a soundboard for your colleagues. Let people come to you with ideas. Let them have the space to even sound off the foot. Have that place where you're even able to tell them that, you know what, Anne, that is not a very brilliant idea. And this is why I'm saying so. And then you give them your reasons, but have the space where they are safe enough to come to you and sound out an idea and ask questions and grow, because we all learn from each other. So I think that's what I can add. Raise your golden scepters.
Thank you very much. 30 seconds to Dyson. He needs
Thank
to
you. 30 seconds.
add something.
As a civil servant or a public servant, know that the most important thing is good governance. I can talk a lot about good governance, but there are 6 aspects of good governance you must always wear, and I call it the attire. Like you are putting on the attire now. A stands for accountability. T stands for transparency. The other T is trust. The other I is integrity, responsibility, and excellence. And these 6, if you crown it with ethical behavior, you will be like us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you have an opportunity to put a question. I have Veronica. Veronica, where are you? Yes, Veronica. Can we have a microphone to Veronica, please? Kindly keep it short. Don't thank anybody. Just ask the question.
Okay. I almost thanked. My question is, I once had a boss or supervisor, an American supervisor, who once told me, when you get to the top, it is really lonely. And when you're doing the right thing, it becomes even more lonely. Learn to deal with it. And she left me with that. So this is a question to all the leaders on the panel. How is your experience with that? And if you've experienced it, how have you dealt with it? So that as the young leaders that are getting into such situations can learn to deal with it, but also be able to serve the people that we are meant to serve to satisfaction and excellency. Thank you.
Thank you. Doctor, why don't I begin with you? Because the other time I committed the sin of starting with of coming to you last. So let's start with you there.
Thank you. You surround yourself with people. They do not necessarily have to be in the same institution. And sometimes I think that young servants, public or private sector, make the mistake of thinking they're going to a workplace to make friends. Remember what Mr. Okumu said about purpose? You're there for a reason. You do not go to a workplace to make friends. You do not start that institution to make friends. However, if perchance by bonus you make friends, excellent, but it shouldn't be your priority. What am I saying? Surround yourself with people in other places that can stand with you. And we all have them. They could be your family, they could be your friends, they could be your peer groups, they could be other mentors. Now you have gone through this program. For those who have gone through this program, I'm sure you've made connections with that one person who will walk the professional journey with you. They don't have to be in the same institution with you, but they can mentor you, they can walk alongside you, you can cry with them, you can have a party with them. So it might be specifically lonely in the institution where you are, but then it doesn't have to be lonely for you as a person. So surround yourself with safe circles in other spaces that walk the journey of life with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Agnes, same question.
Thank you very much. I think I've been
There's a related one that was directed to Anne. It's actually almost the same. The person didn't give their name, says, sometimes when you do the right thing in public service, you may find yourself standing alone and the system fighting you. What then do you do? So it's related. It's lonely up there.
Wow.
Yes, Agnes, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay, I continue. I think I've been lucky because my inner circle are actually people I met when we were like 13-year-olds, like that far, like in school. And I remember went to high school together and we joined Makerere University. I'm also a product of Makerere University. And I recall when we reached Makerere, we realized that, okay, there are no rules and regulations which are given out, okay? Because I was in Nabingo where there was, you know, rule structure. So what we first did is to put a structure for ourselves as friends, okay? No going out of university when we don't know, you know, all those things, including no dating a sugar daddy. I'm not kidding. Yes, I'm not kidding. It was in the rules.
In your rules?
Yeah, in our rules.
Yes.
No dating a sugar daddy, like whatever we do along, if you get somebody, not, you know,
and for the men in here?
So the men.
For the men?
The
other one was no sugar daddies?
No, because we ladies, okay, you know, from a ladies' school. So that's how we continue. So we've supported each other, you know, throughout, you know, that journey. I remember when we went back to even master's program at Makerere, then one was lagging behind. We had to go to the dean, Dr. Chirumira, and tell him that, you know what, you call so and so. We want her to speed up. because she feared. So when he called, then she can imagine, oh, doctor has called me. What do you want? Then we support her. So we talk about that during graduation. And you won't believe it that, somebody I met when we were in P1 and went on to be friends is the same person who became my roommate at Harvard Kennedy School. Because we decided to apply same time, like we are what, and you know the drill and all that. Then when we got in, we said we were going to be roommates. So you can have that journey. So when you have a back, like that, people, you can come and even you can even cry if you want, but then you come with this other face, at work. So don't get lonely. Yes, there are some people who are lonely, up there, but it depends on how you have invested in your relationships. Invest. So it's not that person at work that again you go and do the lugambo, okay? It is that person who has known you, whom you've grown with, whom you can be your naked self, quote unquote. Some people it is family, some people it is family, but you must have those people, otherwise your mental health will be in what? And when challenged, actually seek help. Don't first wait to throw stones. Then you think that you're mentally, Yes, going to check up or what, even, stresses of life, just checking. And these days there's even anonymous. You can even call somebody from any part of the world as long as you get the call toll-free number and you call. But don't be lonely up there and don't compromise, who you are just because you want to be like the rest and they're doing the wrong thing. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one in that bed sleeping and thinking and checking that, hey, what did I just do?
Thank you. Dyson and Ambassador, I'm going to give you 1 minute each because
in respect to the two questions, being lonely is very good. Yeah, because in the end, they'll run after you. The philosophy is there is no right way of doing a wrong thing. Can we all say it? There is no right way of doing a wrong thing. So if you are doing the right thing, even if you are alone, the world will come after you.
Thank you.
I will give you an example of a man called Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was reading a novel lying under an apple tree, and then the apple fell on his book and spoiled it. Then he said, "You apple, you are very stupid. Why don't you fall upwards?" In that, he was alone in that thinking. And he discovered the law of gravity. This man called Galileo. Everybody believed that the sun moved from the east to the west. And said, no, it is the earth which moves around the sun. They almost executed him. But he stood by it. Up to today, we know that he was the only one right. You can be that. And lastly, go and read this book by Robin Sharma. Who will cry when you die?
Thank you. Ambassador, you have the last word.
Thank you. No, I would just echo so much of what's been said here. And I would kind of hit the final point maybe one more time, which is it's never lonely truly when you're doing the right thing, because it may feel like it at that moment. And certainly it can be difficult. But if you can go home, you can look yourself in the mirror, you can look at your loved ones, you can look in your child's eyes or your spouse's or your mom or dad's or whoever you care about their opinion. And we all have people whose opinion we value above any promotion or any amount of, reward. If we can look in that person's eye and know we did the right thing and we can tell them what we did, you're not going to feel lonely.
Thank you. Maybe just as thank you so much to the panel. One, don't kick the ladder when you're climbing up. You'll certainly be lonely up there if you keep kicking the ladder when you're climbing up. And number two, make sure you stay alive. So if by any chance you move by border in Kampala and you allow the border guy to drive you on the other side of the road for oncoming traffic, don't blame the border guy when you get into an accident. Because we do that, and me, I am angry with the passenger more than the ride of the border. You must be able to stay alive. Thank you very much. Give a big round of applause to my panel. Give an even bigger round of applause to yourselves for being such a wonderful audience. Joseph is coming back here. We're moving closer towards the end of the activities. We have a few more items to go. And a few more activities. We have a graduation of the Public Management and Leadership Program 2023 cohort according to the ships. So you wait until your ship is called, you're graduated, you'll take a photo op. We'll take a photo with the ship, and then we will move on, and then we'll launch the Franklin Institute of Leadership and Public Management. And Veronica, by the way, I just remembered something. I remembered something. You cannot have all these people here and then be alone, because you have a mentor, you have mentees, you have so many other people. You can't. It's just impossible. Thank you very much. Joseph, do you want to take up the next bit of this?
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, thank you, Charles. And a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. That was quite captivating. Ladies and gentlemen, now the time we've been waiting for, we want to move into the graduation ceremony. So we want the graduation of the Public Management and Leadership Program. We want the 2023 cohort. Again, I'm going to invite Madame Shalon, so that we can have, you're going to graduate in your ships. And so please remain seated. You're going to be invited. All right, so this is how we're going to do it. We shall have the ambassador again and the co-founder, Madame Shalon Mugabe, coming over. And then the leaders of the ships will rise up and they will invite their different ships, and they'll come and be graduated by the ambassador, and then they go back. Okay, so again, let me take this honor to invite you, Mr. Ambassador, and the Madame Shalon Mugabe to please come forward so that we can commence the graduation ceremony. So I'll request to have a second microphone, which will be given to the ship's leaders, so that once you rise up, you'll be given the microphone and you'll announce to us the members of your ship. Okay, so let's have the photo opportunity first. Ship one, let's invite the leader of the ships one to please come, get the microphone and announce to us your members. Okay. Ships one. There's some more coming. Please wait for them. Let's applaud ships one. All right, thank you. Let's now receive ships two. The lead of ships two, Please, you're going to come forward with your team and do the same as ships 1. Ships 2. Yeah, we're told it's lonely up there. An applause. Congratulations, ships 2. Yeah, next is ships 3. Let's have the leader of ships 3. Please come forward. Congratulations, the mighty ships 3. That's the mighty ships 3, as their leader calls them. And friends, we want to remind you, we've got some graduates online. So we recognize our friends who are online. Congratulations to all of you. Let's have ships number 4. The leader of ships 4. Congratulations, ships 4. Another round of applause for them. Now let's welcome the leader of ships number 5. Congratulations, ships 5. And if you're one of those graduating online, please pat yourself on the back. We do congratulate you. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is ships number 6. Ship 6. Congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, ship 6, and congratulations to you. Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, is ships number 7. Where are the members of number 7? Please come.
Only up there.
I'm told the others are online. All right, let's applaud them. Congratulations, ships number 7. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is ships number 8. Ships 8. Congratulations to you. That's ships 8. Next is ships 9. Ships 9, I'm told you have the vibe. Please show it off. Ships number 9. Let's applaud them as they come forward, please. It's a big fold. Congratulations, ship number 9. Yeah, so we can go back to our seats. Now, next is, last but not least, ships number 10. Ships number 10, let's make them welcome. Congratulations. Let's applaud them one more time. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, again, just before the ambassador leaves that wonderful platform with our co-founder, let's do the photo moment and get it out of the way. So now let's have the graduating class, all of it taking oh, that one will be taken from out. Okay, then let's have the PML panelists take a photo moment with the ambassador and the co-founder. I think they'll stand behind them so we don't have to carry the chairs again. I think Shalon and the ambassador can retain their seats. The cameramen and women are warned. Please stand warned. Thank you so much, our panelists. The next panel photo opportunity will be for the PML facilitators, including Matthew, Betty, Winfred, and Danielle. You're welcome. Please come and take your photo opportunity here. Oh, and our very own Dr. Sarah Namusoga. You're most welcome, ma'am. Let's make Dr. Sarah welcome. We're glad to have you. These have been facilitators, and we do congratulate all of you because this graduation is partly yours. Winnie, is Winnie here? Please make sure that you're all visible in this photo. Thank you so much, our facilitators, and congratulations to you as well. You may please go back and take your seats. Now, the next photo opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, is for the ambassador, Madame Shalon, and Mr. Alex Mugabe. I hope you know when I say Mr. Alex Mugabe, you understand exactly what I mean. So let's please pull a chair. Let's please pull a chair for Alex. You know, behind every strong woman, there is a strong man behind. Please make welcome this strong man. Or besides, welcome Alex. Please take the photo again. You should have missed out on Shalon. Oh, incidentally, we were next in line, but but Charles, just a moment, just before you come and we take the opportunity, let's have the Franklin launch team first. Please come, including Charles and myself. Last but obviously not least is the ambassador and Madame Shalon. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you so much, all our graduates and everybody. Let's congratulate ourselves, please, with a round of applause. Oh, they are requesting for one when you're standing, sir, together with the co-founder here.
Thank you. I think this is wonderful. It's exciting. I hope everybody's as excited as I am. You don't seem excited. How do you graduate and you're not excited? Pardon? Okay. There's what ship is that? Ship 8. Yeah, you seem to have the vibe, huh? That's what Joseph was talking about. The last item on this agenda, no, not the last item, the last formal item, let me put it that way, is the launching of the Franklin Institute of Leadership and Public Management. Shalon, I need you to come. I don't know how you want us to do this. Beautiful. What would we do? Can someone help us blind the lights a little bit? Is it possible to have the lights, to blind the lights a little bit? Can we switch them off or something? Yes. Someone close that window there, reduce the light, and then have, I need to stand out of the way a little bit. Let's launch the Franklin Institute. The guys at the technical wing should know what to do. Are we safe? Yes, we are. Okay, let's have the Franklin Institute launched. Okay, let's get that rolling down. Zoom in a little bit, Okay, are we good? Are we good? The lady and the gentleman, are we good? Ladies and gentlemen, pardon? Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kampala, the Franklin Institute. That's the logo of the Franklin Institute of Leadership and Public Management. People were expecting some interesting sounds and noises and stuff. We won't have that. Let's have the lights come back on, and I will invite the ambassador to come and speak to us. Lastly,
it's really taught me
pardon?
How to be confident when speaking.
So one of the things when we joined service was to commercialize.
Okay, those are some of the graduates talking about the experiences. Your Excellency, if you could come and say just one last word as we launch the Franklin Institute.
Well, first of all, just again, thank you very much for allowing me to participate in this event today. Really inspirational, really exciting. And obviously I'm as part of the U.S. mission, we're honored to be a supporter and sponsor and partner in the celebration today, hosting here at the American Center. And it's truly an honor and a privilege to celebrate the official launching of the Franklin Institute. So congratulations. And congratulations to each and every one of you. Congratulations, Shalon, for all the work you've done. And thank you to everyone for your dedication to public service and to public management. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody. We'll have the photo, the group photo outside. We needed some different ambience to do that. And Joseph has an announcement to make.
Thank you, Charles. Just as we come to close, ladies and gentlemen, our founder has just a few gifts to give to some people. I'll now invite Madame Shalon to please come and give these away. The first goes to Agnes. The photographers, please just stand by. Thank you, Agnes. That's Franklin's way of saying thank you. The next goes to Madam Anne Mugunga. Thank you, Anne. And next goes to Mr. Dyson Okumo. Okumo. Finally, Franklin is saying thank you to the ambassador. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Okay, just one last thing as we get out of here. Let's stand. Let me invite the ambassador. Let me invite Shalon. Let me invite Alex. Let me invite the panelists and the graduates. We turn to this side. We cut cake, celebrate the birth of the Franklin Institute and the graduation of the graduates today. And then we'll be on our way to take a last photo, take a photo group, a group photo, and then we'll be done. Thank you. So let's move to the table here. Are the people there ready? The people helping us with the cake?
Whoever's in charge of the cake, we request we create some room behind so they can stand right behind the cake table. Perfect, that's enough. So let's have the team standing behind the table, please.
Let me have Shalon, Alex, the panelists, some ship's leaders, please. If you can squeeze in somewhere, let's get that done quickly. And the rest of us can draw closer.
Okay, so we shall count 10 because we have 10 ships. So please, let's take the knife. On the count of 10, I will hear every ship count their number. Sorry. The ship's leaders, please, let's count from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations. Congratulations to the birth of Franklin Institute. So let's have the cake served very quickly, and then let's go have the group photograph at the entrance.
Okay, we can move meanwhile to the group picture outside. The people out there who have...
let's go outside, please, and get the group photograph.
The photographers are professionals. Help us to organize the group photo. Thank you.
The ship's leaders, please, let's follow the founder and the ambassador so we can have a group photograph outside. Let's go have that group photograph, and then we can come back and enjoy the cake. We shall come back and enjoy the cake after that group photograph. So let's step out, please. Please be
let's start
reminded we have a cocktail after this. So please don't leave hungry. Don't leave hungry. So after the group photograph, we shall enjoy the cake, and also we have a cocktail prepared for all of us. We request all of us to please take our seats, and we're going to be served with the cake. And after that, we shall go and enjoy the cocktail that was prepared for all of us. So let's please take our seats and enjoy the cake. The cake is going to pass through. After we've partaken of the cake, please be reminded there is cocktail prepared for all of us. So don't leave hungry. I don't know, probably we could ask the ship's leaders to please get the cake and take it around so that your people can be served. The ship's leaders, please pick the plates and serve your people so that that's one way to be sure nobody misses out on the cake. Now everyone will belong to ships too, because with that mountain of a cake, everyone might belong to ships too. There is so much cake to go around. So I request the ship's leaders, please, go pick more cake and serve your people. There is enough cake for everybody, So and please, ship's leader, don't forget to serve the moderator. Yes.